Good evening. This is your host, Dennis Metters, at Metters Dennis or Bomb Squad on X, with you with episode number 3, OmaHawgs by Fireside. Joined tonight, of course, with co-host Ben Devine and a gentleman that really doesn't need an introduction to Razorback Nation, Brady Tygart. And for those of you that haven't gotten to meet Brady's dad, Mr. Josh Tygart. We thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We thank you for your time, and for the folks out there listening and watching. Want you to pull up a chair, reach in the cooler, grab a cold one, and let's just have some fun. That's what this is all about. Uh, I'll start off with Josh. Josh, get a little bit of your background, where you come from, what you've done in life, and let us all know a little bit about you.
Right. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot in life. Young, but yeah, so I was born in Little Rock. Um, humble roots, and my dad was a military guy, and we moved around the country. We lived in California, we lived in Spain, we did all that. Played every sport growing up. There was no such thing as a sport I didn't want to play. Um, and found some direction when I went to college and ended up being really good at one thing that could make me money that wasn't into athletics, and decided to go fly. So that's kind of a nutshell.
Yeah.
That's kind of a quick view of where I come and how I ended up where I was at. And then, our early married life, we were moving twice a year. You know how it is starting out. And so our daughter was born in Dallas and Brady was born in Houston. And then when he was probably 2 or maybe a little more than 3, we moved to Memphis, or the Memphis area. So that's pretty much it.
I can relate to that. My dad was in the military, spent 10 years in the military myself. Uh, I never flew myself. I was a crew chief on helicopters. Never did actually get my pilot's license. So I have that same love for aviation that you do. Uh, Ben, what have you got for
Yeah.
Josh?
All right. So to start off a little bit, like go back to raising Brady, like to be a baseball player, or just him growing up as a baseball player. Like how challenging was it to be his dad, but also like on the field you're his coach, but how hard was it to like stay back and say like I got to be his coach, not his dad right now, if that makes sense. How hard was that?
It, it's really people that haven't done it. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Because you see stuff in your kid and you want to make sure you don't have the daddy goggles on and all that. So you bounce stuff off other people a lot.
Right.
But baseball's a failure sport. Like they're going to fail. And, as a parent, what do you want to do when your kid's failing and struggling? You want to go pick them up and hug them and tell them it's going to be okay. But
Right.
sometimes kind of got to kick them a little bit and go, no, that's not okay. Like you're not giving me effort. You got to, there was times when for one reason or another, I would take Brady out of position quicker than I would do other kids, because it was always, if I treat him fairly, even if he thought it was unfairly, there's nobody on that team is going to get more special attention than him. So
Right.
kind of rough on him because he was the example.
Hmm.
Hey, but right, there's consequences.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, it wasn't that hard because he was so self-motivated even as a kid. So
Right.
pretty simple.
Yeah.
And
Well, go for it, Dennis.
and on that, I saw some debate back and forth today on social media, surrounded around Michael Brantley, with Brady playing at the level he is now, at a high level, at college level, and at one of the top programs. And I know I've spent some time with you at the ball field at Mississippi State and then during fall ball. How hard is it for you to stand back, let the coaches do their job? And at times, do you want to, hey, I noticed this. This is something you might work on. So how much is it, is that on you now?
0%. I don't talk to the coaches. When I do, it's just like, hey, how you doing, coach? And it's niceties. It's not my job. My job is to be his dad. I took him as far as I could get him. He knows more about baseball than I do. If he needs something addressed, he'll address it. So unless I think it's dangerous for him, I'm not going to insert myself in there. It's not my job to do that. My job is to cheer for, good or bad. So I just don't do that anymore. And it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Of course we disagree with, hey, I wouldn't have thrown that pitch or, whatever. I mean, that's natural, but I would never tell Coach because he knows more about pitching than I'll ever know. And I'm going to tell DVH, the guy's won like a million. Hey, you should have done this. Like, really? What'd you coach? 9-year-old baseball? Yeah. 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 So I be that guy, and I try to not do that. So hopefully I'm succeeding. I don't know.
Now, back in I believe it was 8th grade, Brady, you were actually cut from a ball club. What was that like, and what did you do to get yourself where you needed to be so that didn't happen to you again?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because that's the first time I've really been told that I wasn't good enough to do something. And, 2 of my close buddies made the team in 8th grade to play on the freshman team in high school, and I didn't make it. So it was pretty embarrassing, honestly, to be around them. But, I mean, looking back on it, I don't really blame them. I wasn't very good at the time. But, yeah, my dad helped me, through that the whole time that I was dealing with that. He actually created a middle school team so I could play for, my school. So I did that and had a lot more fun than I probably would have had playing on the freshman team anyways. Yeah, but he kept my head screwed on straight and didn't let me get feeling too sorry for myself or anything.
Yeah, and okay, so getting cut in 8th grade, like how much harder did that make you want to work going into high school after getting cut from an 8th grade baseball team?
Oh yeah, I mean, I wanted to prove that I was, better than the people that made it, even though they were my friends. So I'd say just added that extra level.
Right.
It added a level to where I started to enjoy the work. So it honestly helped me in the long run. It made it easier.
Yeah.
To where it was easier to get done because I actually looked forward to it.
Josh, is Brady one of those that performs when he's got a chip on his shoulder, rise up and meet the challenge?
Yeah, typically if he gets mad about something, he's about to show some people some stuff. And just springboard off what he said, it's not true that he wasn't very good. He was just not very big. There's a difference between being good and big.
Right.
And that's what I told my middle school kids too. And Brady will back this up. I was like, I'll take the little guys that do the fundamentals all day long because puberty's coming and you're going to be big guys that can do fundamentals. And you'll show everybody. And he put a chip on his shoulder and really, I was impressed because there's only one of 2 things you can do when you get cut. It's either you tuck tail and run, or you work harder and prove that you should have been there the whole time. And that's what he chose. And it really paid off.
Right. Brady, in the most humble way possible, when did you realize that you might be good at throwing a baseball, like in the humblest way possible?
I'd say after freshman year, because I had a pitching lesson with one of my old coaches, and we were planning on, coming up to do a camp at a few different schools, but like I wanted to go to an Arkansas camp because I've always been a Razorback fan. My whole family has, so I just thought it'd be cool to, kind of play on their field. And about a week before, I was in a pitching lesson with one of my old coaches, and he was like, dude, if you pitch like that at the camp, you're going to get offered. And I didn't believe her. And then I threw at the camp and I got offered. And I think that's when I realized that I was better than I thought.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, when you got that first offer, that Wes Johnson was actually the pitching coach then, correct?
Correct.
So getting to know Coach Johnson a little bit, and now, of course, with Coach Hobbs, how are those guys similar and how are they different? And what did you learn from each of them?
I mean, I didn't really get to be around Wes for more than probably like 3 months. I wasn't really even really around him. Then he took that job with the Twins. Um, but from the little time I got from him, I mean, he's a good pitching coach. He's won a lot of games. But I'm glad that he took a different job because Coach Hobbs is my guy.
Be interesting to see what Wes is able to do at Georgia.
I think
Yeah.
Of course, coming out of high school, was going into the draft ever a possibility, or were you always committed? You wanted to play college ball?
I mean, it was my priority up until about a week before the draft. Honestly, I did not want to go to school at all. Um, but I'm glad it worked out the way that it has. I'm definitely glad that I came here.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, the only two schools really that you were recruited by were Arkansas and Mississippi State.
Correct.
Okay. And of course, you got to pitch at Duty Noble last year. That place is an amazing place to play ball as well. I know we love Baum Walker. Duty Noble is really amazing as well.
Yeah, you can't deny that place it's beautiful. That was probably definitely my favorite place to play baseball at last year, other than at home.
What all work did you put in this summer? I know you took the summer off from playing ball, but you took time this summer to work on yourself and work on, I believe, your mechanics, your body. Go through that a little bit on what all you did this summer.
So I decided to take the summer off from baseball in its entirety, just because I still had some lingering, inflammation and stuff from my injury earlier in the year. And the biggest reason I decided to take off was because I did not weigh enough. I weighed like 190 pounds in that regional game against Santa Clara, and I was out of gas. So I decided I needed to come home and really work on just putting on as much weight as I possibly could. And I stepped back on campus at like 220. Was too big. Finally found like my playing weight around 210. And so I think it was a really good idea. But yeah, just being at home and eating good food all the time. I mean, that's all I really needed from it. I didn't think a lot of the bats were gonna do anything for me because I already knew how to get people out. I just needed to be more physically mature.
What's some good home cooking, some good comfort food you like while you're at home?
Uh, Whatever they're cooking because it's free.
Good answer.
That's facts.
he's actually a really good cook. So he jumps in and helps cook a lot.
Oh.
Oh, Taco, you'd be proud of the meal I made. Yeah, it was last night. I did just like the fried chicken with gravy on it, mashed potatoes, sweet
Nice.
peas and macaroni. It was
But we may
good.
have to start a new podcast, Cooking with
Yeah,
Brady.
that's pretty solid.
Now, I know you guys love the outdoors as well. Did you get to do some duck hunting this winter? This
Not as
fall,
much
this
as
winter?
I'd like to, but yeah, we got to get out there a little bit. It was just super dry early in the year, so we couldn't hold big numbers of birds, and then it didn't get cold until super late, so we didn't have big pushes of birds all year. And of course, now that I'm back in Fayetteville in baseball mode, all my buddies are back home killing the crap out of them.
And see, my season's coming up because me personally, turkey hunting is my obsession, my passion. So my season's coming up. I know from my turkey hunting experiences, there's got to be some stories you guys have got. Brady, growing up, you and Dad out hunting together. Is there a time or a memory you have from being out in the duck blind, bit deer camp, whatever it is that you guys just have to sit back, retell the story, and sit back and laugh about now?
Oh yeah, I got one that I was really mad at my dad about for probably a whole day, honestly. Probably more than a day, probably about a week. It was opening day here in Arkansas, and it was our first time hunting this new lease that we just got in, and I was with my buddy, and me and my buddy were tired, and I asked my dad, I was like, hey, will you set the alarm for tomorrow? He's duck hunted his whole life. You would assume he knows when shooting light is. So he sets the alarm, and we wake up, and it's almost bright outside, and we're like, what are you doing? And it was like 20 minutes till shooting light. We're like, we have to leave right now. And we didn't get to the blind because he thought it was 30 minutes after sunrise was shooting light, and it's 30 minutes before. So he was sitting up there in his long johns making him a cup of coffee. At the time, we should have already had our spread set out in the blind, waiting on the ducks to get there. And we're riding the four-wheeler up about 20, 25 minutes after shooting light starts. And we finally get to the hole, and about 200 ducks jump up out of the hole that we were hunting. And then we didn't see another duck all day long.
Yeah.
I had a senior moment, so
I've had a couple of those mornings turkey hunting where you get whereas you're going in the woods, you wake up late and you bust one off the roost. So yeah, been there. What about you, Josh? Have you got one you can tell us on Brady?
I mean, not really. He's always been kind of easy to hunt with. Like, I never really cared about results with him. It was more about just getting out in the woods with him, letting him do his own thing, so that he always wanted to go back. But so we had one deer on our land down in Mississippi that we call buckwheat, and I had hunted him pretty hard. And I'd seen him up close, but not close. I was a bow hunter, and you could get him close, but he'd be like 50, 60 yards, or he knew I was there. He was smarter than I was. And me and Brady, a 2-man stand, he was probably 7 or 8. I mean, he was a little fella. And we're sitting there, and it's a youth hunt, and there he goes. You can see the antlers coming through the woods, and I'm just like, Brady, there's buckwheat. And he's like, I can't see him, Daddy. I'm like, he's going to jump right across. Get ready, because he's going to come across the road. He never could see him. He just wanders up the hill. It was just one of that's the kind of stories that I remember, though. So, he was so frustrated he couldn't see that deer, but it was, it worked out.
He was going up the hill, like to the left past our stand into Robbie's land. Yeah. I was looking the wrong direction the whole time.
Dude, I was pointing at him, bro.
I remember looking forward and left into the woods, and I was like, this dude's crazy. I don't know what you're talking about.
That my youngest daughter, she thought I was crazy when she harvested her first wild turkey. I had her low crawling through this just sawgrass field to cross this clearing to get to the other side of the woods to get to this turkey. She thought Dad was crazy that we were crawling across the field to go chase this bird. But afterwards, when she had it slung over her shoulder, she was pretty damn proud of it. So those moments with your kids, and here my grandkids are starting to get up big enough. Those are the moments you cherish. And so it's awesome. Going into this season, Brady, what sort of goals have you set for yourself going into 2024?
So just some of my personal goals are to throw 100 innings this year as a starter. Wow. Stay healthy all year for another point, have a 94 mile an hour average velo on my heater, and kind of just a team goal is to win the natty.
You'll have a grown man in tears. Y'all do that straight up, without a doubt, and I'll definitely be there. Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, Dad. So, what's been like your favorite part about watching Brady at the university? Just like seeing him from when he was a freshman to now. Like, what's been just a few things that you've seen that you've really watched him grow up, or something like that?
A couple quick. So, like, his very first outing as a college pitcher was against Omaha. Mm-hmm. And like his first 2 pitches, he beats both batters, and they fist fastballs in the outfield. 2 straight hits. He's got first and third, no outs. And I'm like, let's see how he bounces back, right? And I don't remember what he did. I think he got a strikeout and like a double play or something. Jalen Battles catches a ground ball, you're out. So, but yeah, I was really impressed with that one. Coming back, just battling back and not caring. It was the same Brady that I saw as an 8-year-old pitching. He just didn't care. He throws the ball, whatever, dude. Not that he doesn't get nervous. It's just that he just thinks he can get everybody out all the time, and that's what kind of makes him who he is. Probably the other one was like when there was another story where he gave up the home run to Enrique Bradfield against Vanderbilt on hit, been hit out. It was a really good pitch. He's like, I should have thrown him a fastball. And then he was breaking down the at bat the whole time. Like he was laying on my fastball. He's probably looking curl. I should have thrown him a fastball. I'm like, so that's when I knew he knew more about pitching than I did. There,
Yeah,
I'd been like chasing around the bases. You should have hit that pitch, and then just seeing how he deals with the kids, even if he has a bad day, like the kids that are, because you know how it is, they're just mobbing him, and watching how all of them really, even Stovall can go for 4, Hagan can have a bad game, Brady can have a bad game. They're still going to go out there. They're still going to take time. They're going to take their pictures, and that means a lot to me as a dad. So that's the 3 big ones that jump out at me.
Yeah. Brady, up to now, what's been like a few of your favorite spots on the mound?
On the mound, it was definitely nice. Pitching against Ole Miss as good as I did, because I had 2 different saves that weekend, and that was my freshman year. Got freshman of the week against them. And they were the ones that told me I wasn't good enough to play there out of high school.
Right.
So, and I hate them. Everything about them really ticks me off.
Yeah.
It was really nice to be able to perform that well against them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But my favorite moment probably just being on the team was 1000% without a doubt dogpiling to go to Omaha. Even though me and Hagan, the only 2 freshmen who were pitching on the team, gave up the only runs in the whole entire super regional, it's still absolutely the best memory I've had.
Yeah, for sure.
Who are some of the guys do you hang out with? I'm sure you're close with all the guys on the ball club, but who are a couple of the guys away from the ball field do you hang out with and have really close relationships with?
I think the guy I hang out with the most now is probably Gabe Gackle, one of the freshmen. Y'all know his name very, very well pretty soon. But yeah, he's got a super special talent. So I kind of wanted to make sure he's under the right supervision. Because it's his first time living by himself. He can go do whatever he wants. I want to make sure he's making the right choices for not only for him but for the team and for his future. So that's kind of how it started. Me wanting to hang out with him, like bring him up to the facility late at night, just kind of talk to him a little bit about baseball and get him in the right mental state for what he's about to do, because the SEC is insanely hard to pitch in. And then just kind of kept going up there with him, and then I realized he's a lot like me. He's a lot dumber than I am, though. But but he's probably going to be one of my best friends. I hang out with him, another one of the freshmen, Tate, and Gage Wood. He's my neighbor. Those are probably the 3 I hang out with the most. And Hagan every once in a while when he's not asleep at 8:30.
That's awesome that you're being a mentor like that,
Yeah.
taking one of the younger guys under your wing and helping them develop. And did you have somebody that did that with you when you came to the Arkansas program?
Yeah, Elijah Tress did that with me. I looked up to him a lot, even though he didn't pitch a whole lot. His mentality, and he was just a grown man about all of his business that he handled. So I kind of clung to him a lot my freshman year and looked up to him.
That's awesome.
When you guys are away from the ballpark, and I know how much you enjoy the outdoors, but what are some other, and Josh, I'll go to you first. What are some other things like family vacations? I know you just had a trip, which is probably just mom and dad getting away from everybody going to Vegas, but what are some family vacations you guys enjoy taking and just to get away from everything?
I mean, as far as vacations go, it's kind of weird. Brady's not a big vacation. He would rather stay home and work out. And we've made him go to like Mexico. We've done the beach stuff, but probably my favorite thing to do when he's home is just to hang out with him. Whatever he wants to do, I'm willing to do it. I don't ever put any I want to do this, so let's go do it on my kids. I just kind of let them steer the conversation because I figure if it's their idea, they'll be there and be involved in it. So as far as that goes, I mean, as a family unit, we just like to hang out. We wherever the wind blows us is what we're going to do. If we want to go out of town, we'll go out of town. If we want to go hunt, we'll go hunt. I mean, it's a pretty wide range of stuff we like to do.
That's pretty cool. And something that got me, Josh, when you and I were talking on the phone earlier to get this all lined out, get the timing, everything. You and I were talking about grandkids, and I had made the comment, yeah, grandkids are awesome. You can love them, spoil them, and then when it gets time, here you go, mom and dad, they're yours again. And your comment back to me was, I don't want them to go, and I thought that was just totally awesome. That's your mindset when it comes to your grandkids. That, man, I don't want them to go. I want them right here.
Oh yeah, I can't get enough of that baby right now. While I got the energy to keep up with her, I want her here all the time, all the time. And Belinda's the same way. She's all about the baby too. So, yeah.
Going into 2024, Brady. Of course, I know 2023 didn't end how any of you guys wanted it to end. Sort of it going into Arlington. Got that big series that weekend. Are there some other series is down the? Of course, we've got most of our big SEC series are here at Baumwalker. Are there any that you looked ahead and you said, hey, this is one that we really want, and this is one that, while you're not overlooking anybody, but this is one that's pivotal to our season success?
I think the biggest test for us is going to be going to South Carolina because, I mean, just kind of the history of Arkansas baseball, we win at home. So it's not like a super big challenge because, I mean, we're one of the best programs in the country, one of the best teams in the country year after year. So we win at home. It's not us proving anything or turning anybody's head. It's just what we're supposed to do. And South Carolina is looking like they got a really good team this year. So I think that's going to be the biggest test for us is going there, playing in a brand new park that nobody on the team's played at except for maybe some of the older guys. Actually, no, nobody's played there because Will McIntyre was a redshirt whenever we played there. So I think going there and seeing how, especially some of the younger guys, handle that level of adversity you get when you go to a place like that. Because it's a lot harder than it looks on TV when you're actually there in the moment and the fans are right on top of you, just eating you alive. So I think we walk out of that one with 2 wins or even 3 wins. That's going to be a really, really good sign for us.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Ben.
Out of the 3 teams that y'all are playing in Dallas, which one are you most excited to play?
Man, I would say Oklahoma State, but we've already played them so many times. It's almost like a scrimmage at this point.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 2 teams that hate each other, but we kind of have friends on each other has friends on the team. So the fans hate the other team more than the players actually do.
100%.
Yeah, but one of my good buddies, I guess his friend, a guy he hits with, plays for Oklahoma State, and I've been around him a lot, so I'm looking forward to playing him. But honestly, I kind of am looking forward to playing Oregon State just because it's so much different than anything we see down here. It's a West Coast team, and I'm still pretty upset at them for the incident. I don't know. I'm more just excited to play in that ballpark again, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I was there last year whenever Arkansas took that stadium over, and you
Yeah.
guys played really well that weekend. Uh, South Carolina, I agree with you. I think that'll be your guys' toughest road test. That lineup with Messina and Petrie and Cassis, that'll be a challenge for you guys. But I know you guys are going to be up for that challenge, so really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Ben, have you got anything else for these gentlemen?
I do not. I don't. Unless you do.
Well, I could sit here and talk all night, but
I do too. Yeah. That's up to you.
I know Josh and Brady. I know Josh probably wants to spend some time with that grandbaby, and Brady, I'm sure you've got some stuff you've got to get done this evening. Really appreciate you guys sitting down with us for a little while and chatting with us. I could carry this on all night, but I won't. Really appreciate you guys. And Brady, before we do go, have you got anything going on NIL wise that folks should be looking at and helping support you in?
Yeah, y'all all need to go download an app called NIL Club. And if you're, a passionate Razorback fan, it'd mean a lot to some of us if y'all could go help us out any way that you can on there. Donations, even just sending us positive messages. It's called NIL Club. And because there's some of the guys who have more NIL on the team than others, like some people are literally making $0. And that pot goes to literally everybody on the team. And whatever I make from there, I'm just going to give to somebody who's not getting as much as I am anyways. So if you want to help support our team, that's probably the best way to do it.
Appreciate that, because myself, that for me, that's what this podcast is all about, is helping you guys out and giving everybody the opportunity to get to know you guys and your families a little bit. So yeah, anyway, folks, that anybody that watches this, it's all about these guys. So check out that NIL Club. Also, I know Brady, you can see him over my shoulder. I know you've got the poster with the athletic collection as well. I've got mine on my way, on the way. So yeah, anything we can help do to help you guys out. And I'll make sure I repost that on social media as well, get the word out there about that. And thank you guys for sitting down and joining us. And Josh, we'll see you at Baum Walker here in 29 more days.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Brady, thank you, and best of luck this year, young man. Really looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
And we want to let everybody out there know we appreciate everybody listening in to this. Join us next time. We'll have another episode coming up before long. Just want to want to say thank you to the athletic collection that is doing a lot of great work with NIL posters, as you can see over my shoulder. NIL posters for these players, they get a royalty off of every poster sold, and 10% goes back to the local communities. Also, Chinook Seedery, if you haven't checked out the best seeds ever, what are you doing? Eight flavors mild to wild. Check them out. This is Dennis Metters, aka Bomb Squad. My co-host Ben Devine. Thank you for joining us once again on OmaHawgs by Fireside.